So good morning everybody. I hope I find you all well. Let me show you where I am first and then I'll tell you how I got here. Now that's some view, isn't it? I think you'll agree. So how did I get here? Well, so here I am. So, interesting. The hostel last night, I said that I was in the downstairs room and that I'd rather be in the upstairs room. It looked much nicer. But on reflection, I was probably well off. I went to bed at 8:30 and I went to sleep. And I woke up at 12:30. Somebody was moving around again at 1:30, 3:30, and I got up at 5:30. Now, even though I woke up, I went back to sleep pretty quickly. But I noticed when I got up this morning at 5:30, and I went up to the, actually I got up at 5 now that I think about it, and I went up to the common area, that the upstairs room is off. I realised the upstairs room door doesn't close, and every time somebody's moving around the common areas, the lights come on. And of course, it would be very difficult, I think, to get to sleep in that room. So I probably actually, on reflection, was better off. So I got up this morning and made myself a cup of tea. I made sure that it was charged up. I meditated for a few minutes. I went up and I got the bus. And I got the bus over to a place called Galdar, G-A-L-D-A-R. And I joined the Camino there that I'm going to follow right down to the south of the island. I'm sort of walking in reverse, it seems, because the signposts are all going the opposite way. But it's fine. I'm using All Trails and it's really a wonderful app. In fact, I don't think you could walk this walk without it. Although it's signposted, it's not particularly well signposted. There are lots of junctions where there's no sign and you have to sort of make it up as you go along. So what can I tell you? What was my learning? Well, the first piece of learning was sort of interesting. So I walked up sort of paved road, small little paved road, and eventually got to the dirt track. And I changed my shoes, put on my Brooks, which I, by the way, have been really, really good on the walk, and I'll tell you about that in a moment. And I put my hookahs into the bag. And I pulled up the bag, zipped it up, but I didn't zip it up fully, not entirely, because I couldn't be bothered actually unpacking everything and stuffing it all in. So I zipped it up to the top, but not across the top, if you know what I mean. And anyway, I hit off the track. The track was really quite steep. I've climbed about 800 meters so far, maybe a bit more, and 3,500 feet. So, and I've done about 12. Maybe 12.5 kilometers. It was pretty tough going. I was very surprised. So it's been a mix of paved roads, small little roads, then tiny little roads, then dirt tracks, and then some of it was really, really rocky, really steep, really rocky. You're almost scrambling. But anyway, when I got over the hardest piece of it and got onto a paved road again, I was maybe about 7 or 8 kilometers in. I stopped to have a drink of my cup of tea, and I had noticed earlier on that my bag seemed a bit looser, and I tightened the straps, just pulled them on the front a little bit to tighten it up. Well, the reason it was loose was that my shoes had fallen out, so I put them in a roll top bag and stuffed them down the top and pulled the zips up as I said, but at some stage obviously they fell out, and so my hookahs are gone and I'm now left with my Brooks. The good news is I'm left with the Brooks, not the hookahs, because the hookahs wouldn't have worked on the dirt track, on the rocky track, not in a million years. You really needed the solid Brooks, and they performed really, really well. Lots of grip, very comfortable, couldn't feel any stones through it, so very, very pleased with those. But I've lost the hookahs. The other advantage of losing the hookahs, the disadvantage of course is they're expensive and they're relatively new. The advantage is the bag is not as packed as it was. It's a lot more comfortable. So what else can I tell you? So I'm walking on about halfway, I'd say, through the walk. It's taken me just over 3 hours, maybe 3.5 hours. So I saw the walk online, and somebody'd marked it down for 4 hours or 5 hours. Well, obviously he was a goat because there's no way in God's earth, even if I was in full training, there's no way in God's earth I could do it in that time. So I'm going to press on, and I've run out of water now. I only had my cup of tea. I have no bottle of water. I have to find water somewhere along the way, and I'm going to press on. I've got about, I'd say, another 12k to do, maybe about 10 I think to get to the end of this first stage, but I think I've got 2 or 3, maybe 4 kilometers to walk away from it to get to my accommodation. As I said to you in the previous video, there's no accommodation really on this walk, so which is a pity actually. I met one couple walking in the opposite direction, and they sort of looked at me and walked past. Weren't very Camino-y, weren't very friendly, weren't like, how you doing, and Bueno Camino or anything like that. So maybe there were just a couple of young ones out hiking, I don't know. So that's it. So I'll continue on, and I'll give you another update when I get to the end. Talk to you, bye.